3 count question of the week.
There it is. We've wrapped up our professional part of the podcast. Yeah, the big news of the last week. Of course, CM Punk's return to wrestling. Tim and I did a special podcast on it last week. And the one of the biggest takeaways from it was the pop, the crowd reaction to thank you.
I can't do it.
You're always been good at that, Ryan. You really
But
have.
I don't understand.
I got pudgy cheeks.
I still just don't. Even though I just did it, how do you do it from the outside of your mouth?
I don't know. It's how you do it.
Like
It catches. There, it was a good one.
But
that was your
I'm an inside guy.
Oh.
See, I can't do it from the outside. I got to get in.
My mustache gets in the way.
I know it's too much. There's too much skin friction.
Yeah, maybe I don't have pudgy enough cheeks. I mean,
I think your cheeks are pudgy.
No,
I just don't think you
have them here. I have them here.
You don't have the.
Well, then snap it into your nose.
The tip of the tongue, the teeth, the lips.
I didn't like that at all. Guns N' Roses knocking on heaven's door. Oh, get the fuck out! That's a great cover.
Could have done without that one.
You're a piece of shit.
Couldn't give me patience, but you can give me knocking on heaven's door for 12 minutes. Great.
Yeah, Tim was hot. You were out about that the other week.
Now I'm hot again.
Go to your car and listen to Patience then.
The question of the week this week, where does CM Punk's now we lost Tim again.
Sorry, Cam went to now Ryan.
Oh no, we lost Ryan. Where does CM Punk's AEW debut pop rank all time in wrestling?
That's so hard. This is a pop 7 years in the making.
Absolutely.
I have accepted after like 3 years of Punk out of wrestling that we are never going to see CM Punk in a wrestling ring ever again. And then from the ground rises All Elite Wrestling. And all of a sudden, there's an alternative that's worth, no offense to Impact, Ring of Honor, Phil from Chicago, CM Punk coming back to professional wrestling.
Sure.
There is an alternative that's not the WWE. So for years, I've accepted that we'll never see CM Punk in a wrestling ring again, when really it should have been we'll never see CM Punk in a WWE ring again. They absolutely had to start the show the way they did. You don't start that show with the hot-ass crowd chanting CM Punk and trot anybody but CM Punk out.
Even that.
Yo, right?
Like, I'm getting like I've watched this so many times, and like goosebumps still.
And Jim, to your point earlier when you said about surprises, it doesn't matter.
No.
Yeah, listen to this pop. It doesn't matter. No, everybody knew it was going to happen, but when you see it, it's still special. 7 years in the making, Jim. This is easily top 1 or 2. Top 1 or 2 pops of all time.
So, man, that's
1 or 2.
That is
of all for volume and sustainability and length of the pop. A moment 7 years. This isn't Stone Cold coming back from a broken neck after X amount of months and the glass breaking. That's a pop, boom, Austin. This was
the sustain. The sustain might get it. Devin says top 10. The Food Line name wasn't a fat joke. I know, buddy. We're just messing with you. Mike says Brian winning the bell at 30, probably only bigger pop he's heard.
Ooh, so that was pretty long too.
My question is, does pop have to be positive?
No, I don't think so.
So you're thinking Roman Reigns beating The Undertaker, This Is My Yard Now?
Yeah,
that was really long.
Fans hijacked Raw to start for like 7 minutes.
That's a great call too.
That's a good point. That's a good point. Let me see. I'm pulling that up now.
I'll stick where I said then. 1 or 2. Still 1 or 2.
It's still 1 or 2.
Yeah, that's fair.
Hogan,
I'm not going to say it's the best, but it's 1 or 2.
Hogan joining the NWO. The sustained just hate from that crowd. Like it.
This is the start of Raw after WrestleMania roller coaster. Yeah, so there's the music hitting, crowd's hot. Let me get him in the ring. I hear they cut it to like every time he pulls the mic up, I think
the crowd gets louder.
Yeah, so there he's pulling the mic up, and it just
And this was an Orlando crowd.
Yes.
And then Orlando doesn't get a lot of credit for being like the biggest wrestling town.
So
it's a smart crowd.
It's a night after WrestleMania crowd.
But I don't want to take that away from anything. A night after WrestleMania crowd. This was a Chicago crowd for CM Punk.
Right, but Chicago is a wrestling town.
It is a wrestling town.
Yeah.
And I think it's growing.
I had written a few down. The Triple H return from the quad injury, Raw at Madison Square Garden, was huge and sustained.
Yeah, and a top 10 video package too.
Oh my God,
the Beautiful Day video package for Triple H.
So fucking.
It makes just hearing that song makes me just think I want to go sprint. I'm not gonna. Yes,
right. Beautiful Day makes you want to run.
The thought of that puts the image in my head of the rehab video.
Okay, I got you.
From Triple H and how motivating that is.
And then you remember
fat. Yeah, I'd have been like, "It's a beautiful." Someone call 911. I don't even have asthma, and I'm asking for an inhaler.
This one admittedly wasn't as big, but the Cena pop from Rumble in 08 was big.
It was big. Like it wasn't as long, but it was huge.
Y2J arriving in WWE when Jericho hits the screen.
That's good.
That's a solid pop.
Was huge. The Rock. Now I had to look this one up because I think somebody had commented on it when he returned in 2011 when he was announced as the host of WrestleMania 27.
Oh, with the electricity going through the building, and then eventually
the lights gradually all go off, the video package airs, and then his music hits. That one was big. This one, you go back to a SummerSlam when Warrior beat. I don't think it was not bigger than CM Punk. When Warrior came out and beat Honky Tonk Man, that place, go watch, just go pull up that video. It's like 2.5 minutes long.
Okay.
That place came unglued. The other one I had, Mankind, when he won the title on Raw in 99, because you had Mankind winning the title combined with a Stone Cold Steve Austin interference on the corporation. Yeah. Mm-hmm. It was just kind of a perfect storm.
And lots of good messages in the comment section here. Always live on 3 Count Thursday. watch us wherever you get your wherever you can watch us on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, Periscope. But we've got Charlie Hulk after Mania 18 in the red and yellow the night after. That's up there. Charlie also mentioned Triple H in the Garden with the Beautiful Day package. Lee Hogan's return in Montreal was big. I can see that. I definitely can. Charlie once again. Dolph Ziggler's cash-in, huge.
That one was big.
Wow, I forgot about that one.
Yeah, that's the night after WrestleMania 29. So that was a big cash-in as well. Reminder of WrestleMania of Yeselmania 1. Goldberg beating Hulk at the Georgia Dome. I'm actually coming up on that episode of my Nitro watch-alongs.
Oh, nice.
That's really good. And then Charlie again, the John Cena one night stand pop.
Oh,
the anti-pop.
Okay, that was
yeah,
a good
that was huge as well.
Mike commenting to put asses in the seats, the Mankind.
Yeah, and then not Shane. Devin says something here about
Shane McMahon's return in 2017. Don't worry,
Sure.
we can't hit the sounder again.
Okay, yeah, Shane.
That pop was big.
That pop was solid for sure.
You know, I think it's hard because and I looked at Cena's return at Money in the Bank, but do we know how much of that was piped in too? You know, because they have been sweetening crowds since WWE's been back on the road. So I don't know if that was all organic or not. Pat McAfee, which by the way, get well soon, Pat McAfee.
Absolutely. That sucked real bad.
SmackDown's gonna suck for like 2 weeks now.
I saw somebody say that they should bring in Bailey to do commentary. I don't know.
Here's what you do: you Thunderdome Pat McAfee in.
Oh, there you go.
Put a screen next to Michael Cole and have 104-degree temperature. Pat McAfee call SmackDown in a fever dream.
I would love, dude. That'd be so great.
Dude, man.
Oh, man, Roman Reigns' hair is so great.
Mike here says NWO 1, Bryan 2, Cena wins, we riot 3, Punk 4. Okay. I mean, Punk at Money in the Bank 2011, I think might rival this one as well. Again, hot crowd.
And Chicago.
Also Chicago.
Oh yeah, the Hardys WrestleMania 33
really
return.
Call.
Said it would have been. Charlie says it would have been so much better if it was in a dome, not a stadium. But even then,
lost all the sound. Yeah.
Even then, the crowd was still loud as shit. That's a great one.
And that was a real special one too, because I don't think anybody really knew that was happening.
No,
again, I think it was
a surprise moment.
We felt like it might, but they wrestled Ring of Honor the Saturday before.
Yeah. So like
in a ladder match.
Correct, right.
Against the Young Bucks.
That was a hell of a pop.
Like,
here's the deal. I don't know how big the Chicago venue was, but AEW could have put it in a larger venue and still packed it out. And that would have, I think, made this pop even a little bit louder.
Well, this was in the United Center.
Oh, it was? Oh, I thought this was a smaller. Okay.
This was the big boy.
Oh, okay. Bobby.
Which leads me to believe
to them then.
Yeah. Because All Out goes back to the formerly known as the Sears Arena, Sears Center, the Now Center. Is this the last year that All Out runs the Now Center?
Probably.
Because they got Punk now.
Yeah, I mean, in a year, they really, if the Daniel Bryan wink wink nudge nudge is true, if they do land Wyndham Rotunda, there's been talks AEW or Impact Wrestling is very interested in Wyndham Rotunda. If Adam Cole doesn't re-sign with WWE, if he goes to AEW,
so let's talk for a second. AEW signs William Rotunda,
Wyndham Rotunda,
and brings him in, whatever the fuck his name is, as IRS Junior.
Oh.
How awful! You think he comes out with this little briefcase?
Oh my god, dude! How fucking awful! That would be so bad.
Or what was it? What was his name in WC? Something Wall Street.
VK Wall Street.
VK
Michael
Wall Street.
Have him restart. Have him.
Wyndham Wall.
No, I got it.
Wyndham Wall Street.
You turn him into a mixture of Mike Rotunda and Kevin Sullivan, and he brainwashes the Varsity Blondes and recreates the Varsity Club.
There it is. Write it down.
Charlie says Edge's return was huge. Absolutely.
Which one?
Not as big as this. Not as big as this return.
The first one at Royal Rumble.
Rumble, dude. Go back to that Rumble.
Yeah, it was hot.
Yeah, I remember the crowd chanting for Edge up until he fucking came out. That was real hot.
It's
not
different because they thought Edge was dead.
Get over it. Not as big.
Yes, the night when Sting first came down and beat up the NWO. Yep. I mean, I was hot too.
Was that like the first Crow Sting?
Crow Sting had been around since like right after Fall Brawl 96, but he had been like in the rafters and not like in the ring performing.
No way. Oh my! You gotta be kidding me. The Rated R Superstar!
Thanks, Booker.
Edge is here!
You leave my dad alone.
Yeah, that one's definitely up there too. There's a great.
I feel like that music just drowns the crowd out, though. Maybe they had it louder.
There's a great montage I saw every time. Listen to Michael Cole.
No way. Oh my!
There's a great montage every time there's like a surprise return for like the last 15 years. You just hear Michael Cole. Oh my! Every single time.
I mean, it's a great call.
It is a great call. It's just like it when you see it in montage form, you'll never be able to not hear that. Like, just way out there.
Really, the only better call I can think of is, oh my goodness, what a maneuver.
I mean, that's a good call. That's a great call.
I'm looking up this montage right now.
Mike's off topic. Thoughts on Davey Richards versus Minoru Suzuki?
I have no idea who that is.
Oh, Jim, you're a heel.
God damn. Tim, do you have thoughts?
Do you know who Minoru Suzuki is?
Is this a real question?
Yes.
No.
Okay.
And Tim's gone.
No. Here's my thought. Here's my
He's the guy that builds those motorcycles, Jim.
Yeah, that's him. His dad.
His brother Kevin Kawasaki.
Yep.
No?
Mike, I'm going to be completely honest with you. Davey Richards did nothing for me as an American Wolf. He does nothing for me now.
Dude, a lot of people were really poo-pooing on him real recently. I forget what it was about, but there was a lot of maybe he stiffed a guy or wasn't shaking people's hands or some shit, but I read something about it. I forget where that was.
Well, it's 2021. It's a pandemic. Yeah, it's
like
you're not wrong.
Like I've gone on, like when I went on job interviews, like I shook hands and immediately my head went, "Oh my god!"
It feels weird to shake hands.
Oh, I didn't like it. I bathed my hands in sanitizer.
Where's the Suzuki match happening? Is this GCW?
MLW, I think.
Oh, MLW. Okay.
Or no, is it?
Well, if I start watching it, maybe I'll see it.
Who was older, Suzuki or Goldberg?
Charlie also says completely different kind of pop, but the holy shit chant when Bam Bam put Taz
Glory
on the ramp.
Glory Pro is
okay.
Is got the Minoru Suzuki match. Minoru Suzuki,
he's 53.
And Goldberg is 54.
54.
Okay, so Goldberg's older.
And Minoru Suzuki would eat Goldberg's lunch.
He would eat Goldberg's ass.
Oh boy.
Sauce it.
Here's my final thought on the Punk pop.
Sauce it.
It's I think it's very difficult to really appropriately rank pops just because production quality is different and like what I'll say about the Punk pop is that, and I said it on Saturday when it was me and Tim, that is an all-time moment. like when I don't care if AEW lasts 6 more months or 60 more years. When you're talking about the history of professional wrestling, the return of CM Punk on AEW Rampage is an all-time moment. The crowd reaction, like, and again, we all knew it was happening, and the fact that there wasn't a swerve, there wasn't a moment of gaga. It was literally, you start the show, you present exactly what you said. Punk comes out, 7 years of build-up. It was that's an all-time moment. That is, you know, it's it is up there with all of the best and biggest pops and moments in the history of the business. It is like that's what it is. That's
a fair way to put it.
You know, the fact that at 36 years old, that a moment, you know, where I play 15 seconds of a clip that it's like a moment from now, not when I was a kid, not when this was magical to me, not when I still believed it was real, all of that stuff. Like this is a moment when I'm a 36-year-old adult, when theoretically speaking, we're smart to the business and we know what's coming and we know all the tricks, and you can still present a moment to me that gives me that reaction.
Yep.
That's all time, absolutely all time.
Kudos to Tommy Dreamer for, I think, taking care of the guy that was emotional. But
yeah.
Again, I think that speaks to the moment. Like, this is so much more than just a television, so much more than just professional wrestling. I said I wrote off CM Punk. We will never see CM Punk again in a professional wrestling ring. This is a magical moment. And somebody that's that invested in a product that's going to be moved to tears, emotional, you're doing something right.
And like let's address that little part of it. And I do want to get to the WWE roster problem topic. We can save the NXT because NXT is changing. We're not going to stop it. It'll still be topical next week. Like if you're invested in this business, if you're invested and you're watching week in, week out, or you know, whatever, let's just in general as well, but like the shaming or like mocking of the fan who's like emotional from this. You don't know what that guy's story and situation is right now either. Like,
who cares what that guy's story is?
Right.
He was moved by something that you're watching. This should be every wrestler's goal, every commentator's goal, every manager's goal, every ring announcer's goal is to move somebody enough to get a real emotion out of them. And if you're not doing that, if you're not striving for that, you need to try harder or you need to get out of the business. This is indie, fucking training indie, small time, big time, WWE, AEW. You want that. Whether that guy's having a hard day, a bad day, whatever it is.
Oh yeah,
I'm not
saying that it quote unquote matters what they, but like I think just in general, like as we're interacting with people on a daily basis,
that's fair.
Like you don't know what that person's going through, so we don't know if that guy, if there is more going on in that guy's life. That this is a moment in time where his favorite wrestler is returning, and he's caught up in the emotion of it. Or he's literally on top of the world and his favorite wrestler is just returning after 7 years. A moment he didn't like when Bret Hart returned before WrestleMania 26. Like that got me back into wrestling. Like that was an emotional, like I didn't think he was ever going to be back in the WWE, and the fact that he was back there. You know, Charlie says here, he's like, I'll proudly admit it. He cried like a bitch when Kofi won the title. I'm pretty sure I cried when Kofi won the title. Like this business has brought me to tears numerous times.
Yeah.
For different reasons. Like there's no shame in that. There's no shame in things bringing you to tears, period. But like if you're invested in any sort of entertainment, like if at the end of when the end of the Rocky movie, or if at the end of a movie that you're invested in and that you love the franchise and you're invested in it, something emotional happens in a movie, are you gonna mock somebody at crying over a movie?
Dude, I mock this movie all the time, Jim. I cried at Rudy.
I cry at Rudy.
I cried tears of joy when that fucking movie finally is over. What a piece of shit.
You are an asshole.
What about that one time where everybody brought their jerseys and put it on the desk? That was real.
What happened, Tim? We can't hear you. Mike says he was in the crowd that night. He cried when Kofi won the title.
That you could feel.
Charlie, you're allowed to be wrong about Rocky 2 being the best. I won't take that away from you, but you're definitely wrong. The correct answer is Rocky 4. The other acceptable answer is the first one.
Rocky 3.
Rocky 3 is not the best one.
Hey, woman. Hey, woman. You want to be a real man? You tell me, Clubber Lang. Oh, my God.
Jim, you just opened a big can of worms here, I think.
The reason we won the Cold War, which 2021 aside, I don't know if that's still... But the reason we won the Cold War in the 80s is because of Rocky 4. No, Charlie, it is not hands down Rocky 2. Stop it. Thank you, Mike. If he dies, he dies. It's Rocky.
Yeah.
Rocky. The first one is a close close like 1A, and then 2 and 3 are right. I mean, they're like the first 4 are fantastic movies.
Oh, Rocky 5's a fine movie.
Rocky 5's a fine movie. It is a terrible
Rocky. Rocky Balboa was better than Rocky 5.
Rocky Balboa is a banger of a movie. In that, like, Rocky Balboa is what Rocky 5 should have been.
Bingo.
Like, what if you look at Rocky 5, but like just the plot of the movie in and of itself, a boxer at the end of his career needs to fight to save his finances one more time, starts managing this kid and then has to street fight. That's a good story. That's a terrible Rocky movie.
Yep, you're right.
Terrible Rocky movie. Just awful.
Just the shits.
Just awful. Charlie, he says wife goes into a coma, wastes his kid with her, tells him when and after he's won, it's all for his wife. I get it. I mean, it's a great, but like he changed the Soviet people.
If I can change, then you can change.
The Russian people, they ended up cheering the American in Russia.
Which one did Mickey die in?
3. Mickey died.
Man, see, oh boy,
3.
Yikes! I'll have to watch him again.
What movie did Rocky Balboa get trained to be a black fighter?
That was also 3.
That was also Rocky 3.
But in 4, he avenges another friend's death, and he defeats the Soviet Union. I don't see how we're arguing this.
That's a tough one.
Anyway, all right, let's do this
real quick. Back to the topic. Let's get rid of the toxic thoughts that men can't be emotional. I think we can get rid of this, and that fixes a lot of this. Like, we all need to do better.
And that's coming from the non-crier of the group.
And that really is. That's coming from the guy who makes like inappropriate jokes and comments. But I can do so because I feel really comfortable with myself and the fact that I am an emotional person and that it is okay to show emotion and to cry. Like, let's get over that. It's 2021. Let's be better.
Is so tired, so stupid. Like, manliness. What we've been taught as manliness in this country, in this society, is just the biggest crock of shit in the entire world.
And I hate the fact that there are tons of people that I'm sure agree with the 3 of our comments right now that outwardly, publicly would have a hard time admitting that. Let's break that stereotype. Let's break that stigma, and we will all be better for it.
Travis, I think we can all agree Rocky 5 with Tommy Gunn was a piece of shit. As a Rocky movie, absolutely.
It's a piece of shit Rocky movie. Yes.
It is a horrible
There's
Rocky.
no boxing.
Except for the
There's street fighting.
of Tommy Gunn, climbing the ranks, and then the big fight is a street fight. Which the super boxer, the fighter, the young guy can't even beat a broken down old man with brain damage. So he clearly sucked.
He wasn't good.
Okay. Final thing before we close up tonight.
Is Tommy Gunn one of those AEW Gun Club guys?
Yeah, he's the fourth gun.
He's the fourth one.
So, Mike says that movie is disrespectful to trash.
That's fair.
I will agree with that. All right. Final thing before we go.
He was talking about Rudy, right?
You son of a bitch.